Hey, welcome back, everybody. I'm Roy Engelbrecht, and this is Sports Entrepreneurs True Entrepreneur Stories. You know, you're going to hear so many different stories on all these episodes over the years, but I thought a cute one. And it might be hard to believe, but this is true. Celebrity boxing. And I mean the legitimate first ever celebrity boxing. Oscar De La Hoya had just purchased my company. We had just formed Golden Boy Promotions. We had the Oscar staff coming down to Newport Beach where my office was. We were there for about 6 months before we moved to LA, but we're in the office. I get a call, and it's a person from Fox Studios, Fox Network, saying, you know what, Roy, we're working on a boxing concept. And we called the State Athletic Commission, and we said, who's the best person to work with in regards to boxing? And they said, you got to call Roy Engelbrecht, which I appreciate that. And they said, would you be interested in coming up to Fox Studios, Fox Network up in LA for a meeting? Sure, absolutely. So maybe a week later, I go up there and Fox Studio, and you got to sign in your name there and all that. We go up to a big conference room, a lot of people, and in walks Mike Darnell. I remember Mike's name. He was the head of reality programming at Fox Network. And remember, this is 2002, so there weren't a bunch of reality shows. It was starting out, and there were people from Dick Clark Productions and so forth. And they said, what we want to do is find these 15-minute of fame celebrities, put them in a boxing ring, and we're going to have this new show, Celebrity Boxing. Are you interested? Do you think it'll work? And I said, well, sure. I mean, we're a for-profit company, and this is Fox Network. This is before Fox Sports was even in existence. This was Fox Network. They were going to make this a network show. I said, what we need to do is, whoever the celebrities are, we'll contact them, see where they're living. We'll find a trainer and a gym in that hometown, and we'll give them everybody 6 weeks of intense training so that everybody's a level playing field. We'll put them here in Hollywood when you want, where you're going to do the show. We'll put them in a boxing ring. We'll have legitimate officials. We'll bring cut men in to work their corner and so forth. Good. I said, well, have you an idea of who's going to be in the first show? They said, yes, we do. All right. They said, Roy, we're going to have Danny Bonaducci from the Partridge Family. And some of you watching this may not even remember. Might not be old enough to remember. And he's going to fight Barry Williams from the Brady Bunch. Okay. Who else? Well, we have Vanilla Ice, the white rapper from Florida, is going to fight Todd Bridges, who was on a TV show. Different Strokes on that. And then they said, we're going to have a female bout. Okay. We're going to have Tanya Harding. Good, I know Tanya, Olympian, hit her the Nancy Kerrigan incident, and she's going to fight Amy Fisher. And I said, Amy Fisher, and then right in this room, you mean Amy Fisher, the girl that shot the wife in the face of the guy she would have an affair with? And they said, yeah, that's Amy Fisher. Okay, so I said, fine, we can do it. So they said, Roy, what we'll do, we're going to give you all the phone numbers of these 6 celebrities. We'll let them know that you're going to be contacting them, and here's what you're being paid for and so forth. So I called Todd, and Danny Bonaducci he was a kind of a kickboxer. He was into that, so he had a gym and a trainer already. Everybody else had to have a trainer.
What was it like talking to Todd? I mean,
he was sober, so it was good on that one. And he was from LA, so we found somebody in Los Angeles. Called Tanya Harding in Portland and found a trainer in Portland. And of course, Tanya is a professional athlete. And then I think about this, and I remember this as it was yesterday. I'm sitting in my office, and I'm calling Amy Fisher, and I'm dialing her number. And as I'm dialing, I'm saying to myself, what has my life come to that I am calling a woman who shot the wife of the guy she's having? I'm going, what has my life, has it got that bad? And his phone's ringing now. And, hello? I said, hi, I'm calling for Amy Fisher. This is Amy. She was very nice. We found her a trainer, and it was someplace, she was living in New York at that time, someplace, a trainer.
Because you weren't new to the business at this time. Like, you've
No,
been
no.
training 10,
This was
15
golden. This
years.
was really Golden Boy. We had already been in business 20 years. And we had only, Golden Boy Promotion had only been in existence about 5 months when we got this call. And there was some at Golden Boy saying, Roy, why do we want to have association with this? And I always feel, wait a minute, if we don't do it, somebody else will do it. And if it's successful, they'll get the credit. Let's keep it here. So we're going. Everybody's training. We were going to do this show in Los Angeles at KTLA Studios. They were going to create a little gym, a little arena with the ring. Michael Buffer was going to be the announcer. We had officials. We had ring card girls. We're about 3 or 4 weeks into training with all these celebrities. And Golden Boy, I'm the CEO of Golden Boy, we're doing the Manny Pacquiao, Marco Antonio Barrera show in San Antonio. Big, and that was really Manny's big coming out party because he beat up Marco Antonio Barrera. And I get a call from Dick Clark Productions. Roy, we got a problem. What's the problem?
That's the last phone call you
Right.
want.
Amy Fisher's out. I said, Amy Fisher's out, why? Well, we just found out she's on parole and she can't leave the state. And I said, didn't you know that 3 weeks ago? Didn't you know that? Oh, no, I'm sorry, but we got a replacement. Oh, okay. Who do you have? Paula Jones. I said, Paula Jones? Wait, is that the Paula Jones that Governor Bill Clinton met in a hotel room in Little Rock? Yep, that's the Paula Jones. Where is she living? Outside of Little Rock. I said, there may not even be a boxing gym in Little Rock for all we know. Here's her number, Roy. We got to get her going. We got to have it happen. So I call her a couple of times. No answer. Finally got a hold of her, a real thick accent, of those that know Paula Jones. I said, Paula, you understand you're going to be fighting Tanya Harding. I had found a gym and a trainer in Little Rock. Here's who you need to contact. They're waiting your call. And then she says, Roy, I had a nose job about 5 weeks ago. Am I going to be all right? Because they were all getting $35,000. And to some of these, that was a lot of money at that time in 2022. I said, no, Paula, we're going to have nice headgear and so forth. So she gets it. We end up having the show, KTLA, the weigh-in. They had to do some medicals. They had to do an eye exam and so forth. The show happens at KTLA, full crowd, Buffer, let's get ready to rumble. We had officials from the California Commission, but the California Commission told me, Roy, we want nothing to do with this. So all the officials couldn't wear their California State Athletic Commission badges on there. But because this was being taped for network in about another week, we couldn't have a winner because then the fans there would social media and let know. So what Michael Buffer did after each fight, and the winner by decision, Tanya Harding. And then 10 seconds later, Michael Buffer said, whoop, wait a minute, we have a disqualification. Our winner is going to be Amy Fisher or Paula Jones.
So then they would be able to then edit for the final.
Absolutely, and put it in who actually won so you wouldn't know. So Tanya Harding. Now, what was fun is that I wanted to get some rounds out of this because some of these people weren't that great. So I sat next to the timer, and because this wasn't an official, Tanya Harding was beating up Paula Jones 35 seconds in, and I had him ring the bell. Round one's over. It was a 35-second round so that we could get a second round in there and third round.
Tanya Harding, to be fair to Paula Jones, is a legitimate athlete.
Right.
She's an Olympian, like regardless of her.
Absolutely. She won. Danny Bonaducci beat up and busted Barry Williams' lip. This was for real. And then Todd Bridges beat Vanilla Ice, kind of ugly. But I remember going into the locker room at the KTLA studios to Tanya Harding, and I said, Tanya, you know, I'm a promoter. You know me. If you're serious about this business, I think you can do very well here. You can make some good money. And I remember her manager at the time, an older guy, came up to me and said, Roy, no, I'll handle everything if Tanya's going to do this. I said, okay. And if you remember, Tanya then, from the celebrity boxing, made appearances and fought a female bartender at some place. And she could, because Evan, you're right, she was a great athlete. She had the tools that she could have made some money. And that's when Christy Martin was still fighting, Layla Ali was still fighting. She could have made some money. It never happened. So Celebrity Boxing won, and people didn't realize. And if you go back and look, it was the number 9th rated show that week against 60 Minutes, Three's Company. It got huge ratings. People loved it. They came right back and did Celebrity 2. And that's when we had, let's see, who was it? Oh, yeah, I've got it someplace. Oh, no, it was Joey Buttafuoco fought China. Yep. Manute Bolt fought William Refrigerator Perry. Screech fought Horshack from Welcome Back, Kotter, and so forth. And Screech busted Horshack's nose.
Well, Screech knows karate. Like,
absolutely. He was very good on that. Great ratings again. We were going to come back and do Celebrity. It was going to be a franchise for Fox Network. They could not get 15 Minute of Fame celebrities for free because when they realized that this was legitimate, that Barry Williams got a bad cut, Screech got a broken nose, none of these managers wanted to get their celebrity in there to look bad, and we ended after Celebrity Boxing 1 and 2. You can still go to YouTube and pick up some of that, and it was about as much fun as you could have, and we enjoyed it. And Golden Boy made a little bit of money, and you can see the credits at the end. So that was our Celebrity Boxing. Now, there's been some other ones that have come up with Celebrity Boxing of local ones. It doesn't make any sense. We were the legitimate Celebrity Boxing on Fox Network. That's a true sports story.